In this video, we'll learn about how to enable versioning onto the SharePoint list. And later we'll learn about how to approve the list item. That means the item which we have created, it has to be sent for approving. So the administrator who has a permission of approving, so he'll approve the list item which we have submitted. So these are some two things that we need to see here. And later we'll see how to enable metadata navigation on the list. So the first option now we need to see is how to have an versioning of an list data. So now we'll get back to this employee, go to list settings, versioning settings, and here we have an option to create item version. So let's click on yes, and I want to keep these versions up to 5 number. So that means whenever the item is undergoing for editing and reviewing the things and everything which happens on the item, it will maintain some versions on it. When the user one has made some changes, let's say the 1.2 version, and later user has made some change, that is 2.0 version. Like this, the user 5 also will make some changes. Let's take the version is 5.0, and whenever the 6th person will change the thing there, then the 1.0 version will be replaced with 6.0 version. So that is keeping the following number of versions on this list. So right now we are not going to enable approving here. Let's keep it as same thing and enable versioning only. Just click on OK. Get back to the employee list. Now try to add a new item. You can add a new item into, let's take Steve Jobs, employee ID, and hire date. Save it. Now I have this particular item which is created by system account, that is nothing but site collection administrator. Now I want to see this version history of it. So by using edit control block, we can just go to version history of it, and right now you can see the item is created by the site collection administrator. It's 1.2 version. Now let's make some change here. Go to edit item. Let's change the hire date. Let's change, we have changed it for the 2003 year. Click on save, and once again we want to check it the version history, and you can obviously use ECB, that is edit control block, or from the items ribbon we can also click on version history. Now you can see there is a 2.2 version, and in the 2.2 version we have some change on hire date, which is changed to the 2003 year. And if you closely mouse over to this particular option, it clearly gives a screen tip what is the previous value and what is the present value at this version. And by chance if you want to revert back to the 1.0 version, just select the version now and say restore. Restoring cannot be done on this present version, it says, because right now it has logged into by the same person. Okay, let's try to create one more version on this. So we'll click on edit. Let's make a change to 2004 and save. Now the restoring can be possible. Let's go to version history. Now come back to this particular thing, and now we'll say restore. Yeah. Now when we restore it, 4.0 version will be created with same features of 2.0. So that means the 3.0 version, though I have changed it to the 2004 year, once again when I revert back the 2003 year, that is 2.0 version, to the 4.0, the same data will be replicated into the 4th version. Once again we can also replace the 3.0 version with 5.0. I can closely observe here and restore the data, and now it once again publishes a new version which is almost equivalent to the 3.0 version. And now if you try to revert back to the 4.0 version, that means from 2004 to, once if you want to come back to the 2003, Let's restore this and let's observe, because we have reached to the max limit of our version. Restore. Now when we restore it, once again it's going to create 6.0 version. Okay. So once again restore it, 5.0 version. Yes. Creates 7.0 version. But now if you observe this, there is no 1.0 version here. So the 1.0 version is replaced with 7.0 version. Okay. So 5 versions will be always noted and the current version will be there. So totally 5 versions and the current version. So this is how the version history will be taken into the list item level. So lastly what we have set is 7.0 version. According to the 7.0 version, the hire date is in the year of 2004. And later you want to enforce approving or rejecting. The item which I have submitted here, it has to be sent for approving. Right now, even if you check on the item here, there is no approve or reject here. It's completely disabled here. Now let's enable approving or rejecting concept. So go to list settings, get back to the version settings, and now say required content for an approval. So whenever the content has to be get approved, and in the meantime we can also queue up the content in for drafting. So I can say before I approve the items, I want to draft these 2 items. That means one item I can keep for 2 drafts. I can maintain up to 2 drafts. And the drafts can be seen only for an approvers. Just click on OK. And right now the site collection administrator is also having full control on the website. So he'll also get the rights of approving. So go to employee list. Let's create one more list item. And now you can closely observe this. The items on this list require content approval. So your submission will not appear in public views until approved by someone with proper rights. So the person who has an approving, he has to approve your list item. Only the approved list item will be available onto the public view. So before it gets approved, the item can be reviewed by the person who created it, and it can also be reviewed by the person who has a permission to approve it. Only these 2 persons can see it. And the person who is there in a public view, the person who hasn't created this particular list item, and the person who is not having an approving rights, he cannot directly see the things because the item haven't approved. So now let's create it. Employee name with the David. 455 it's a employee ID. Let's have an hire date. Click on save. And now you can see this. The David item, it's waiting to approve or reject. And right now the action is pending here. And the moment when I mouse over here, because right now the system account, the person who has a full control on this website is a site collection administrator, he'll come and log in onto this particular list, and now he want to approve this item. Yes, the moment when he approves, the list item becomes visible to all the users. That means in all the public views, the list item can be queued up. What happens if it is rejected? The item will be returned to its creator. So basically the person who has created this particular item, only he can view this particular option. And in the meantime, the administrator can see this item in a draft position. So if the item state is pending, as usually the same thing. It will be under draft, that is it's waiting for an approving, and administrator can see it. At the same time, creator also can see it. Let's say in this case I want to approve the item, and I can give in some comment. Let's take, okay, I want to approve this, and you can see this, the item got approved. At the same time, let's try to see the history of it. Check on an item, see the version history. The item got approved. Close this. So this is how the versioning and approving will work here. So whenever you try to edit the item which is already approved, let's try to change something here. I'll change it from 2011 to 2012 here, and once again it will change the action into pending. The changes which are done on this particular list item has to be sent for approving once again. And now let us discuss something about metadata navigation. Let's get back to the list settings, and at general settings in the list we have a metadata navigation settings. So metadata navigation setting is basically will allow you to filter the data based on our criteria. So we can frame our own filters here, such that based on the filter we can navigate the data in the view. So just get back to the metadata navigation settings. So on this content type presently, so we want to have an key filters like hire date or created by. At the same time we want to have an employee ID. These are some key filters which we are going to make it, and let's click on OK. And now in the left side of this particular list where we have an metadata navigation, we'll be having the key filters location here. So based on the key filters, the data can be filtered here in the view. So basically it will not be available for all the lists here, only for the employee list it will be there. If you want to, you can get back to the registration. In the registration you will not find this. Only in an employee you will find this, since we have enabled key filters, that is but through metadata navigation settings. Or I can put something like employee ID should contains at least, let's take 1 2 3 4, or else we'll take 9876. So I'll take the 9876 is a value. That means wherever I have an employee ID with at least of 9876, then only I'll display this data. So let's click on apply this filter, and we can see this wherever I have a 9866 and above to it, then only the data is filtered. We can even clear these filters. When we go to this option, we have this. Once again, furtherly filter, we can play it from small to top, that is from the largest to top also possible, that is ascending and even descending orders. So if you want to clear these filters, just click on clear. So then the complete data will be populated. So rather modifying the view and applying the things onto the default view of list and giving a facility for an user to filter the data, this is what a metadata navigation is. And we can filter according to the created by, or we can filter the data based on this date and time column, because hire date is actually date and time column. You can frame a number of filters here. So this is about metadata navigations. That's all in this video. Thank you.